Welcome to the Thriving Tides podcast. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Julianne. If you're an entrepreneur who loves self-care, you're in the right place.
We can't wait to share our experiences with you.
Stephanie, this is our last episode of season 1.
Holy crap.
I think that deserves a cheers.
Cheers.
You're the best.
And today in the closet, because it is the season, we are being very festive today, and we are drinking eggnog rums.
Oh, sorry. I was pointing to my sweater and you're talking about eggnog. We are very aligned today.
Yeah. We only had a couple sips too, so it's not like we've been drinking already, so this is not a good start to this episode.
But yes, we thought, rum and eggnog at 3:30 in the afternoon.
On a Thursday? Yep.
YOLO.
Well, it is the last episode of the season, so we had to make it extra special. And
Absolutely.
It's also right before Christmas, too, so had to wear our sweaters. Julianne only had one, so...
You love to out me.
You don't have more than one?
I know. I told you I'm an underbuyer. We talked about this in the Habits episode.
Shucks, you're right.
Gotcha. But anyway, enough about that. No, we're here to have a little bit of fun today too.
Yeah.
We're here to celebrate our season 1. We want to share what we've learned, what went well, what was really hard, and share with you also like what you can expect from us in the new year, because we're not done. This is just season 1.
Exactly.
There's more to come.
Oh, there's so much more to come. Like we always say, like we have a huge list of so many different episode ideas and so many guests that we definitely want to have on the podcast. Some that we're already in the works with for next season already, which I'm so excited that everyone else is getting so excited about our podcast too. So who would have thought when we were sweating in the summer that we'd be sitting in the closet in big ass sweaters right before Christmas.
Right? I mean, I'm still pretty warm.
Yeah, I know. It's been a really mild winter here so far, but
yeah, we're lucky.
Power through it. It's Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho. And also, like, who would have thought that back in June and July when we were dreaming about what the podcast might be and like trying to come up with a name and then do the branding and like making our list of what we were going to talk about. Like it seemed like this day was so far away.
So far.
And it was hard to even imagine. And now here we are, episode number 23, season 1 coming to a close. And it just feels a little surreal.
It's surreal, but like I'm also really proud of us. Because it is so true, and especially when we were thinking of the name took forever. I think it was pretty much a month solid of us going back and forth, and we had so many park dates where we would constantly shoot the shit and kind of figure out what is our name, what defines us, and we had so many different names. We fell in love with a couple names that fell through, and I remember feeling so frustrated because all I wanted to do was to record with Julianne, and we were just so excited about it because this is something that we've been thinking about for a long time. And then we started recording, and it wasn't perfect. It's funny because we're just talking about this and listening to our old episodes, and it's a little bit cringy, but at the same time, it's also kind of makes me proud because we have come so far, and we do try to not be so perfect and just to kind of get it out there. We could have, re-recorded some episodes because they didn't turn out as great, but at the same time, I think it's a learning curve. It's not natural to talk on a microphone and then also introduce a video aspect to it too as well. And I think we've killed it, I think. I'm proud of us.
I'm proud of us too. I think it's been really cool to see the evolution of just our dynamic too, right?
Yeah.
And just figuring out how to play off of one another and, pick up when the other one might, trail off or reel someone back in. But we're just like getting better and better at that as we go. So not only is our technical expertise continuing to evolve, but even just us showing up.
Yeah.
And I love what you say about, just putting it out there and it not needing to be perfect, because we talk so much on this podcast about the need for authenticity and that people just need to be able to be themselves. And if we're always striving for perfection, we're never going to get anything done. And we love to be true examples of the things that we come here and talk to you guys about, because otherwise, then we're not authentic.
Exactly. So if you're ever thinking about starting a podcast, definitely from square one, get a co-host. I don't think I would have been able to have as much fun if it wasn't for you. I think it's been a lot of fun having Julianne as a co-host, and overall, it's just so much fun to have a friend guaranteed every week.
You will be my friend.
You're my friend. I forced you to be in my closet.
And thank you for letting me come to your closet. That's been really great. And we've been so fortunate that COVID restrictions have still allowed us to be able to do this. I know there's a lot of places in the world that this wouldn't be possible. So
that's true.
I'm feeling really grateful for that quite often.
So true.
But yeah, thinking back to when we were getting started too, we had no idea that seemingly the rest of the world was all starting a podcast. And so getting equipment was near impossible.
Oh my gosh.
Not to mention expensive. But to know, what are we supposed to order? What do we need? All those YouTube videos that we watched and articles that we read and conversations that we had, it was just what are we even doing? Is this going to happen? I'm feeling unsure. And then to see everything's backlogged and whatnot, because we couldn't wait to get started, but we didn't have the equipment for a while.
It's so true. And it's so confusing because, for example, this is called a H6AR2 blah, 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 blah. A recorder. But then there's other ones that also have names of H blah, 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 65 blah, blah. You know what I mean? All the technology is labeled super weird, and no one makes it easy because I was reading a huge amount of blogs about what kind of equipment to use, and some would be oh, you need to use this kind of microphone, and then they'll say don't use that kind of microphone, and it's kind of when you go into business and you read blogs saying you should do this and you shouldn't do that, they kind of contradict each other, and I found that was really big in the recording industry too. There's no one size fits all for recording either, I guess. I do like our setup though. And the reason why we chose a recorder style is so that we can hook up our mics individually and also have when we have guests, they can be on an individual stream. So it's easier for me to isolate a vocal instead of trying to fix it when there's 3 different people, because Julianne and her breathing, I'm calling you out again. For some reason, her mic just picks up her breathing more than mine, which is really strange. And that's been a learning curve, and we don't know if it's our technology or if it's just something we're doing.
Or if it's me.
We're figuring that out. But
yeah.
I think that's also the kind of beauty of where we're at and being completely transparent, and we're learning. And sometimes there are times where I'm listening and I'm what is going on with this audio? I have no idea. And we're starting to get, I think we're starting to get to the point where our audio is getting the best it has been, especially with guests. We're starting to learn certain things as well with that, which I think is pretty cool. And
yeah, and it's so different. I mean, we're now used to being in the closet every week and talking in the mics and doing the thing. And then we bring a guest in who has never done it or not really sure. So we give a little rundown of, how to speak directly into the microphone and not to the side and and we test their levels, things like that. But, they might be a little nervous to start. So they're talking a little soft when we're testing it. Yeah. And then they start getting really excited and loud. Yeah. And so it's what's going on? And so we're learning and rolling with the punches. And it's been really cool to have a partner alongside to go through all that together. And I feel really grateful that Steph is so good at the technical side and very willing to take that on too. If I was on my own, it would not sound nearly as good.
But you got quite comfortable with editing until we introduced the video, right after you started to learn.
I was okay, fine.
So we taught taught Julianne how to edit everything. And then I think a week later, we're like, let's do video.
And then I was like, I'm out.
Peace.
Like, I'm sure I could figure it out if I needed to. But yeah, we brought video in. So this is our 23rd episode, and we brought video in at 12. So about halfway through.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. And that was feedback that we heard from some people who, I was going to say from our listeners, but I guess they were people who wanted to be our listeners but prefer visual.
Content.
They wanted video content over just audio. So we thought, hey, why not?
Yeah.
We'll give it a try.
From a editing perspective, too, I'm not sure if this can be interesting to anybody, but it actually didn't really make too much of a difference. It's still the same kind of... it's the same kind of editing method. It's just adding the video portion. And then when I save it, I just save an MP3 and an MP4 separately. So it's kind of cool because it kind of it stays in the same thing. So it didn't really make too much of a difference. It is still a little bit more because now I have to upload all the files from the computer, and it does take longer. And again, making sure that we're not blurry. There's a couple times where we were blurry, and I had to learn how to unblurry ourselves on Adobe Premiere. But there's little things like that luckily it wasn't too big of a change. But it was definitely something that I had to make sure that I definitely take off Mondays going forward for it, because it does take me a whole day. It takes me a whole day from 9 to 5 to edit the podcast, get it all scheduled to launch for Wednesday, plus the social media with it. Luckily, Julianne does the write-ups of the social media, so all I have to do is just kind of put it in, but I have to create the artwork for it, and then I put it onto all our platforms, so YouTube, the Instagram post, make that Instagram post a audio snippet. So there's a lot of moving parts of it. So it does take me the full day. And again, we're just kind of giving you guys a lowdown. If you were ever thinking of starting your podcast and what kind of work goes into it, I think it might be kind of cool. Because when I started the podcast, I honestly thought it was just going to be us just quickly doing it. Only takes an hour. It will be done.
No problem.
Yeah, no.
And I know, Startup Zone recently, I can't remember when it was, maybe a month or so ago, had some guests in about podcasting 101. And there was a lot of people that attended that. So I think, we've seen a few podcasts popping up around the island since we started ours. Not to say that people are doing it because of that. But I know of other people who are currently recording right now to start launching in the new year and whatnot too. So there are a lot more podcasts popping up, which is really cool that this is something that's becoming more and more popular. But for those who haven't started, I think it is really important to know what all comes into play. And of course, you don't have to do video.
No.
You don't have to do the audio snippets with your Instagram post and all that kind of stuff, but we want to. And we have the expertise in-house, which is really nice. I know some people who start their podcast by hiring a production company and having them just do all of that. So they simply show up, do the talking, and then that's it. Yeah. Which is great. And I've had people say, oh, why wouldn't you guys want to do that or whatever? And I mean, obviously it would cost money, which we're not earning any money at this point with Thriving Tides. But it's also something to be said for our pride that we like to be able to do it also.
I was going to say, I'm not, when I talk about that it takes me all day Monday, this is not a bitchin' that it takes me all day. Yeah. I actually love doing it. I love my Mondays now, which is crazy because I used to dread Mondays. Not because I don't, I love my work, my work is amazing. It's not about that. It's just more so, it's a different outlet. And it's literally, there's no expectation perhaps because there's no monetary gain yet. We're open to sponsor us. But, it's, for me, I think it's just, it's such a big creative outlet. And there's a lot of work, but I don't think I'd want to push it off to someone else. I kind of like it. And it's also fun for me to watch us because I can see all our bloopers and it's hilarious. There's so many times where we hit our mics and there's a lot of bloopers, which is pretty funny. Maybe one day I'll put together a blooper reel.
Ooh.
And share if you want to see a blooper reel.
Yeah. If we need a big response to do that.
Because there's some doozies in there.
Yeah, that's awesome. But speaking of big response,
Yeah.
We were looking at our numbers before we started recording today.
Data.
Because, I mean, yes, we're doing this because we're passionate about it. We're both growing a lot, which we're going to talk a little bit more about on this episode as well. But the goal too, like we're entrepreneurs, so not everything we do has to have financial means tied towards it, but we do hope to monetize this. That is the goal. Yeah. And so we are very focused on also the data, like how many people are listening, what does that look like, which episodes are doing well, which aren't hitting quite as much, try to figure out why. And we're really excited by how many listens we've had so far. So really at this point that we're recording this, I guess we've got 20 episodes out in the world, 21 episodes out in the world.
22. Because this will be 23.
This is our 23rd.
Yeah.
I can't count. Math. And we're at just under 2,000 listens in total.
What? Considering I thought it was only going to be like my family and forcing my family and my close friends, the fact that we're just under 2,000 listens and downloads, that's insane to me.
Yeah.
I'm like... Yeah. Mind blown. Thank you guys so much for continuing to listen to us and kind of getting through our growing stages. So huge.
Yeah.
Every time I look at that number and it grows, I actually get a little teary-eyed because I'm just so proud.
Well, I just remember looking at the first ones and being like, okay, yeah,
20 people, okay.
Yeah, and even that was more,
huge.
I think, than we expected.
True.
But in the back of your head, you're hoping for more, or just like something's just gonna blow up that helps us just grow.
Exactly.
But I'm so grateful. And I mean, people reach out to us and say, I've listened to every episode that you've put out there and things like that. And it's just like, oh my goodness, like, wow, that's really heartwarming.
I know. And I love when people specifically call out an episode that they really loved, especially ones that I felt we didn't do as good. Well, I didn't do as good because you always do good. But you know what I mean? It always kind of reassures that we're on the right path. And even though, yes, we're still learning this whole podcast game and learning how to speak into a mic in a closet, that it's all kind of coming together, especially when you hear that kind of feedback, which I'm really excited about. And even just the fact that we have followers and people that regularly listen to us. Thank you guys so much.
It's so cool. And we're really just getting started.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just getting started. And
there's so much more to come. Long list of episodes,
yep.
people that we want to interview. It's going to be a lot of fun. Although I'm excited to have a full break from everything that I do over the holidays this year, I think I'm going to miss being in the closet with you every week.
I know. Maybe you'll just come over to drink wine
in my closet. It'll be Thursday and I'll be like, coming over, right? What time should I be there?
We'll just be drinking wine in my closet with no... This is how we socialize, right?
Yeah, I don't know how to hang out with Steph not in the closet. Just seems weird.
Come in my closet. Oh, man.
I love it. I love it.
Speaking of data, something that I think that was really interesting, we kind of talked a little bit about video, but I kind of want to circle back to it, is I was kind of shocked statistically, the video, just coming from a branding and marketing perspective, usually video does much better. Usually when I talk to people, I always say try to get as much video as possible when it comes to your business because people like to consume and, put a face to everything. But I was kind of shocked at how our numbers weren't doing as good as our episodes, which I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised because I always thought that perhaps we were pigeonholing ourselves because we are just going to be on podcast places. But on average, we get the first few is about 20 to 40 per week per episode. Well, no, it's actually 40 to 60 nowadays for the first week. Yeah. And I find that on YouTube, it's about 10, which I think was kind of weird. I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just our maybe our content isn't ready for YouTube just yet. I don't think we're going to stop doing YouTube. I actually kind of like having the faces, and it's kind of nice because there's some people that do circle back and rewatch certain episodes, especially when we talk about what we're doing in the episodes, because we like to dance apparently a lot.
Do we dance a lot? I know we sing a lot.
we dance and sing a lot, or like our faces and stuff. Some people have said that, but I think that's kind of interesting. But.
Yeah. There's something to be said. Like, people just like the visual, I guess, and it depends on what you're doing, because like we were talking about this before too, and for me, like, I love a good YouTube video when I can focus on it, but I'm not like, I couldn't be working in the background and watching it at the same time, because I mean, we're just so amazing that I would get distracted and just like watch us rather than doing what I'm supposed to do. And that's me like watching myself, because I do listen to and watch all of our episodes too, because that's how we grow and learn. Is to go back and see what we've done. And I still get really sucked in. So I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. Yeah.
But yeah, we would love to hear your guys' thoughts too. Why do you prefer listening to podcasts versus watching podcasts? And I just think it's interesting because, I guess now that I think about it, most people say that they're listening to our podcast while they're doing something. And I usually consume podcasts when I'm doing something like walking my dog and stuff like that, or going out for a walk. Like I'm actually doing something. So I guess video would be kind of weird. But, and again, this is also something that we're going to start doing more in the new year, is doing videos kind of like what I did for the social dilemma that I did about social media. We want to kind of do some more videos like that where it kind of supplements what we're talking about. And if you guys have any ideas of what we should talk about, or any topics you guys would like to see when it comes to content outside of episodes, we would love to hear, because I know I really want to do one where we deep dive on possibly going back to Reiki and doing a full day of that, or getting an actual tarot card reading right in person. I think that might be really fun as a video. And there's just so many ideas. There's
a lot of things
filtering, right?
We want to do, but we also want to hear from those who are going to consume it, because I think there's a balance, right? Like we're still going to keep doing the things that we're excited about and whatnot, but we might be completely missing an area that people are really craving, and we're just not aware of it. So speak up. Yeah. Let us know. Like, we're here. I like to think we're pretty friendly and approachable. Except for stuff. Come to me.
I'm the meanie.
But yeah, like we love hearing, what resonated with you. We also would love to hear what's not sticking or what's not working, so that we can fine tune or come back and reevaluate what we're doing. Because we want to really show up for people. We want to help others who are running their businesses, doing all the things, figure out how to take care of themselves and how to have a really fulfilling life. Like, that's the journey that we're all on together here.
Exactly. And even those that aren't entrepreneurs, there's a lot of listeners I've noticed that aren't entrepreneurs yet, or just don't want to be entrepreneurs, but are really busy working moms or working people, and they come and say that it's still really useful information. So I really enjoy that as well, even though we're kind of niching to entrepreneurs, that this is still beneficial. And it's true. This is a podcast for you guys as much as it is for us. And we really do want to provide more content that you guys want to see as well. So
absolutely. Yeah, I love, I never even thought when we started that there'd be non-entrepreneurs listening, because I was like, we're going to be really focused on that and whatever. And I know, obviously our moms listen.
My mom, I don't think listens. No. I think she listened to the first 3.
Yeah. Mine listened at first. And even one time I got in her car and she had my episode on, and I was like, oh, Mom, you're so cute. But it's a lot to keep up with. Even Dave was like, I'm really sorry I haven't listened to all your episodes. And I was like, well, you're not really my target demographic. Yeah. It's okay. And you're not a person who listens to podcasts. So I'm not going to make you put an hour into your week every week and do this. I get it, but he feels like he should, which is cute. So maybe he'll catch up one day. But but there's lots of people out there, you're right, who are not necessarily entrepreneurs or not entrepreneurs yet. But what we talk about, the self-care part, can work for anybody. We just relate it back to running a business, because that's what we know and live.
Exactly. And that's how we can speak more authentically to Because I think there's also just not a conversation happening when it comes to not mental health, but I guess mental health of entrepreneurs. And we talk about it in the hustle culture episode a lot, and how we really do need to take care of ourselves as entrepreneurs. And I think that's why it's just so easy for me to connect it, because it's just not something that is talked about in that industry very much, or any kind of working industry, I guess. But
yeah, it's so true. I mean, you'll hear me say it time and time again. It frustrates me to no end, the hustle culture. I hate it so much. Not only will you become physically burnt out, but that is where the mental health issues can creep in, like whether it's something that you're struggling with, or maybe you've been diagnosed with depression or anxiety. Not taking care of yourself only escalates it.
Yeah.
So the self-care is so important for everyone, whether or not you have a mental health diagnosis, but you can still be very impacted when you're not taking care of yourself and you're just on all the time.
Exactly.
It doesn't work.
No.
And, working more doesn't always equal more results. Eventually you hit that point where it goes downhill. You're making mistakes, you're forgetting things, you're taking on too much because you don't know how to say no. And it just blows up in our face.
So true.
Like, that's been like my confidence in that, like being able to show up as myself and know when to take breaks and how to take care of myself, is one of the biggest gifts that I've gotten out of this podcast over the last 6 months.
Yeah, totally. We've learned so many different things, and things that we kind of already knew about. But then as we researched and started holding each other accountable for certain things too, how deeper our self-care practices have become, and how to adapt them too, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, big time.
So since we're kind of going down memory lane, what's your favorite episode? Hitting you with the hard questions today.
That's usually my job.
I got you.
I was looking through our episodes because I had a feeling this was going to come up. I don't know if I have a favorite, but I really enjoyed Habits, like Hone Your Habits.
Yeah,
which was episode 21.
Yes.
And The Hustle, of course.
Of course.
Do the hustle. And that was episode number 13. And I think probably Toxic Positivity too. Like, I really felt strongly about that one. I feel really strongly about everything. So those are probably my top 3. I don't know. Like, those are sticking out in my head right now, but I loved every one of them. It's also really fun when we have our guests in here, because that just like is so different from what we normally do. And like, for this, but I'm telling everybody else, for our episodes, we usually have like all these notes written of all these things that we want to say, or it just like, we try not to rely too much on them, but it just helps us like get them all stewing beforehand. But when it comes to our guests, normally we just like have their bio written, and then maybe like 1 or 2 key things we want to cover, and then it's just
a conversation with a friend, which is really cool, because I find it more of like a natural conversation, and it's more just like hanging out in a closet.
Yeah, well, it's literally what it is.
I like what Leslie had said, that it's like when you're a kid and you sneak a bottle of wine up for a sleepover into the closet. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what it is.
It's what we're doing. Yes. But yeah, and I know you love the guests as well. You have a lot of fun with those.
Yeah.
But of the episodes that we've done just us, what are your top ones?
Ooh.
Or do you have an all-time favorite?
I don't think I have an all-time favorite. They're all kind of my babies. I like them all. But yeah, I think the guest ones are definitely my favorite, just because it's like having a conversation with old friends and people that we don't get to talk to as much. And or sometimes when I talk to certain people, like some of our past guests, it's very business focused, because we do work in the same kind of spaces, and I'm their designer, or we kind of work with each other, which is kind of cool to just flip the script and learn more about other people and what they're doing. I think that's just so cool to see other people's forms of self-care. And it's so true that we always get a different answer. And I just love that whenever we ask that question, what is self-care to you? They always come up with such a cool answer, and I love it. And they're always so different. And yeah, so thank you for all our season 1 guests. You guys were awesome. But if I had to pick a favorite episode, it would have to be probably the meditation, just because we actually took the whole week to practice it. And it's one of those things that I still do to this day. And I really like that episode. That, and I really like the tarot episode just because it's something that a lot of people don't know about me. And it was kind of cool nerding out a little bit on something that I really like to do on my own time. Yeah, I think those are like my top 2. But I also really like when we have more of the authentic conversations, and when we talked about things like the habits, where I'm definitely not a pro at creating and forming or maintaining habits by any means, but it's kind of cool to see your perspectives too, because we are so different. I think I'm learning a lot from you, which I think is kind of cool as well. So yeah, I just like them all. I can't pick one. That's asked a difficult question.
Who's your favorite child?
Yeah.
Every parent has one.
Yeah.
But
you
they'll
can't
never
say it
tell. And I know in my family it's me.
I'd like to say it's me, but it's not.
That's hilarious. But I think each and every episode has been so unique for us as well. And because we are growing and learning so much as we do them, they each hold a special different place in our hearts too, right?
It's so true. Well, I'm thinking about even how the person I was when we first started recording to like where I am now, to like even in the middle of our series where I was. And yes, our podcast has grown, but as people, I think we've grown too, which I think is really cool. And also, I would like to say our friendship too, because like we always talk about, we have kind of a weird relationship. We're kind of connected, but not connected. Is this the episode where we talk about it? No, I'm like, ooh, tea. No, but like, it's kind of nice because we were already kind of friends, but I think this brought us even closer as friends, which I like. So.
Yeah, well, we talk almost daily now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we're checking in with each other, what's going on, what's happening. Not all just about Thriving Tides. Like, we're actually, you know, talk about other things. And we went camping. We've done, like, different, like, games nights and stuff like that. Or just go out for wine. Or, you know, we're becoming very involved in each other's lives, which is really cool, too. So, so in the future, when we can travel again, we'll take Thriving Tides on the road. And we'll probably, like, vacation and bring our mics and do some episodes in different places. And it's incredible. Like,
manifesting that. Yeah.
But yeah, the growth that I've seen in you and the growth that I've seen in myself in this time, because like when you're focusing on taking care of yourself, you're really like, not to say that we didn't do it at all before, but now we're just so much more in tune with it, and we're making ourselves try different things because we want different content for the episodes and whatnot. So that's really cool. And not everything sticks. Like you kept meditating. I did not.
Yeah.
That's okay. I tried it. Maybe I'll try it again. I don't know. But there's different things that we've just been able to experience that we never did before. And to not just experience it, but to talk about it. Like, I know that's how I learn and absorb things a lot better, is when I can actually have a good conversation about it. So that's really helping things stick for me.
Awesome.
Yeah. So awesome.
Oh, man. I like this episode.
On and on.
Well, sometimes we think we don't really look back at things. And that's why I'm kind of glad that we're doing a recap episode and kind of talking about everything. What's one thing that you would have done over when we started the podcast? Like, is there one episode you would like to re-record? Or is there something you kind of wish we did a little bit differently?
Ooh.
I'm coming with 2 hard questions today.
Who are you? No more rum for you.
Just took 23 episodes for me to get there.
I don't know. That's a really good question. I don't know if I would do anything differently. I like our journey. Like I don't want to think that I would have wanted it to be like perfect right off the bat or anything like that, because the struggles and the growth are the fun parts when you look back. But there's maybe a few, like in the summer, my schedule was really full. So I was like a little more tired at times and stuff like that. Like maybe there might have been a couple of episodes that I could have spent a little bit more time prepping or just like making my notes, things like that, so that I was more concise. Because I know even earlier, there was a few episodes where we found ourselves just like spiraling, or we were just like saying the same thing in a different way, and we're like, I think we need to stop now. So learning to catch ourselves with that, but it came, right? So I'm not even sure that I would want to go back and change that, because how do you know and then grow from it if you don't actually experience it?
That's true.
If that makes sense. Yeah. Is there anything that's standing out for you that you would do differently, or?
Oh man. I think I would have wanted to start with video right off the bat. I know we were not ready for that right away. We just weren't. But in an ideal world, it would have been nice, just because it is kind of like I'm one of those people, I like to start things at the same time and they end at the same time. So for me, it's weird looking at our YouTube page and it's like episode 12. Yeah. Or episode 13. Like you know what I mean? Yeah. It looks kind of like we're missing something. That and it's something I'm still kind of working on, but I'm not a really good public speaker. So like sometimes I'll stumble on my words, or I'll be in the middle of a train of thought and I kind of like get a thought in my head and then I lose that thought. So then there's sometimes in the podcast where you could tell I just kind of go, and then I start again because I kind of lose my train of thought. But I'm noticing that in the last like couple episodes, I've started to get a little bit better, which is really nice. It's seeing that growth that is just about being consistent and constantly trying to be better. And same thing, like being more prepared with like notes and what we're going to talk about in the episode. Like we don't rely on our notes, but it is nice to kind of have as a backup just in case. That and the first few episodes, my mom called me out for it and I loved it. And I think I've gotten a lot better, but I cringe because I used to say, and because like is a nervous thing for me, right? And so I would be like, like. And so when I listen to those episodes, I'm like, oh no, this is not good. So I think I've gotten a little bit better. So I kind of wish we could, fix that, but it is what it is. And it's true. I kind of like where we are. And I think it's part of our story. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool to see the evolution, right? And like I've looked at other big time influencers, things like that. Like someone that pops into my head right now that I know can be a controversial person too is Rachel Hollis, but she talks about the fact that she leaves all of her old YouTube stuff and everything up there. Like even though her content is so perfectly curated and she has a team basically doing everything for her now.
Yeah.
She doesn't take all that old stuff away and make it look like that's just where she started, right? So years down the road, when we come back and we look at our first episodes, like already we're thinking, wow, look how far we've come.
It's so true.
Like imagine sitting here. Will we be sitting here in the closet in 5 years' time? Who knows?
We'll have a studio,
wherever
hopefully.
we are, we will be somewhere. We will still be doing this.
Yeah.
But if we were to come back and listen to this episode,
oh, shoot.
we'd probably be like, whoa.
That's meta.
We thought we had it figured out.
Whoa, Inception.
Yeah. Right? Crazy.
Hi, 5 year from now, Stephanie.
Yo. So chill.
So chill. Oh, man. Yeah, that's crazy to think about, though.
Yeah. It's neat. And I love that we're putting that footprint into the world.
Yeah.
And just like going for it and doing it, knowing that we're not perfect and that we're going to continue to evolve. And then just see where it goes. Like, who knows what it's going to look like even in 1 year.
No, it's so true.
Yeah. It's pretty fun. That's some good stuff.
This episode's so random.
So
I love
how many eggnogs and rums are you going to drink over the holidays, Steph?
Oh, gosh. Only on the weekends, except for apparently today. And even then, not a lot.
Yeah.
She even went with Julianne got with the full fat today too. I was just like, whoa.
I figured if we're going to do it,
We're
going all out. None of this light stuff.
See, that's me. I have like the light, and then I also feel a little bit of like my almond milk with it too, to kind of like, balance, because she's thick. She's really thick.
Yeah, that's really good though. That's really good. But it's hard to believe like we're sliding right into full-on Christmas. I mean, it already is full-on Christmas lots of places, but
it's Christmas in my house.
Yeah. Which I love. We're both taking some time off over the holidays, which is exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to just like slow down.
Yeah. And that's another reason why we decided to take, I know 23 is kind of a weird episode number to end a season. And it's funny because when we first started, I don't think we thought we were going to do seasons. And we really talked about that much. But at the same time, we knew that we both wanted to take some time just because we're both really busy people. I know I start to, decrease within December, which I'm totally for. But I thought it was kind of nice to take a step away from Thriving Tides, even though it's going to be really sad, just to kind of, again, look at everything. I know I'm going to look at our website. That's for certain. Because it's still sitting at a coming soon page, which drives me crazy. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the holidays. What are you going to do for the holidays?
What am I going to do? So much. And it's funny, I just have to say before I move on, like taking a break from Thriving Tides, recording. But I feel like it'll still be on our minds. And it's going to be like that balance for me over the holidays is that like I'm not going to have any client work. I'm not going to have recording to be done, but I know I'm still going to work a little. Yeah. But it'll be more like when I feel like it. Yeah. In my pajamas, just a little more chill and like giving myself that space to really like dream and get creative and just play with things a little bit differently, I guess. Because Dave's still going to be working quite a bit over those 2 weeks. So that's nice too. I'll have the house to myself and be able to just pick away at things. But I've got a couple dates booked. Like I've got lunch and some shopping with one of my best friends. My mom and I are going to get our nails done, probably go for lunch, like a couple things like that, which will be really fun. So hanging out with friends and family, hopefully we'll still be able to do that. Is the goal. I see myself reading a lot because, well, I love to read anyway, but I haven't been getting as much into it lately, just because my schedule's been pretty full. So I'm looking forward to catching up on a few new books. Maybe I'll get some new books for Christmas. Ooh. Hint, hint. And just a lot of reflection, journaling, slowing down. I'm really hoping that the weather is going to be nice and that I can get outside. I'm not a big outdoorsy person in the winter, but I'm going to try to be. Yeah. We'll see.
I don't know if the weather stays like this, that it's outside right now. I don't know.
It'll be sloppy. Yeah. We keep getting this rain and,
Yeah.
But, we'll see.
We'll see.
But those are kind of the highlights, I guess. What about you?
Oh, gosh. Lots of cross-stitching. I still have a lot of cross-stitching to do for the holidays as gifts, so I'll be probably doing that. And again, watching all the Christmas movies till my husband says, we've already watched that 7 times.
Well, then let's watch it another time.
I'm totally going to lean into my cozy vibes. I'm going to have all the candles on, and I'm just going to fully lean in and try to just relax and kind of, I'm going to try to do more things than just the regular self-care things that I do. So perhaps I'm gonna book a nail thing too. I don't usually get my nails done. I should treat myself for holidays.
Do it.
I also have a lot of baking to do. This is the season that I like to usually gift baking. I also make a really good garlic butter that I also gift as well. So I have to make that, and I give people like big chunks of butter.
Here's your butter.
But it's my grandma's secret recipe, and it's pretty good. So I'll probably be making a lot of butter. Sounds so weird. But yeah, I think just, taking care of myself. And it's so true, though. We say that we're taking a break, but we're not going to be taking a break. I'll be still doing things and, spending time with my husband as much as possible and my fur babies and stuff. Because it was kind of weird because this was supposed to be the Christmas that I was supposed to go home. So it's kind of a bittersweet Christmas. And I was supposed to also go. My best friend was supposed to get married. Of course, she's in Edmonton and they're completely closed down there. So unfortunately, that's been completely canceled again. So I feel my heart for her just breaks. It's just really sad. And so I think this year is just going to be kind of nice to have a little bit of a different Christmas and trying to make new traditions because it is kind of it's a weird one this year, but I'm looking forward to it as well in a really weird way. It's kind of nice to not expect to go anywhere.
Yeah, it's gonna be different. Our big family gatherings have been canceled because we have I come from Catholic families. We have many people. Yeah. And they're over, I think 20 is the limit to have indoors right now, whether or not that's going to change. But both sides are more than that. So we're going to keep it to the smaller families, which is sad because I really do love to see the extended family at the holidays. Some of them, that's one of the only times of the year we even see them. But it's also going to make Christmas a little less hectic because Christmas Day, for instance, I go to 4 different places throughout the day in one day. That's a lot of driving, a lot of just, being on and catching up and everything, which is lovely, but also quite tiring. So it's going to look a lot different for me this year too.
Totally.
But it'll be what it is. It'll still be great.
Exactly.
And whatever it ends up being, it's making the best of it and being grateful for what we have is so huge because I think you could easily spiral into being upset that you're not going home and what you're missing out on and all those things, but it's not within your control.
Yeah. What can I control?
Yeah. And then staying focused on that is huge. And I think, it'll be just nice to be a little bit quieter. The more I say this, the more I'm excited for some reflection time too. I think it's going to be really cool to look back on 2020 and think about I sometimes forget we were in total lockdown 9 months ago, and it's just what? Wow. The incredible things we've had to work through this year are just insane. Not just with the global pandemic, but we've had our own personal things come up over the year and whatnot too. And look at all that we've still been able to accomplish. I think that's pretty amazing. And yeah, pat yourself on the back. We deserve that.
We deserve it. Yeah. And you deserve it too if you've had a pretty rough year as well. I'm just assuming because everyone keeps saying that on social media. So. Yeah, right. But I'm trying to look back on 2020 and recognize all the gifts that we've got from it too. Yeah. Because it's so easy to think about what didn't happen or what couldn't happen. The negatives.
But and beyond just... Yeah, you've probably got to slow down a little bit and get more time with friends and family, but I think there's more to it that people haven't allowed themselves to see just yet. So I definitely encourage everyone to take some time to just look for that.
Reflect. And again, be grateful, and try to, look at everything and the positives as much as possible. And it's so true. There's so many things that I'm kind of flipping right now that are negative that I can be okay, no, this is great because I now can appreciate this right now more, It made me reevaluate my business a little bit more. That was really great. It led to the swearing. It led to this podcast too. I keep forgetting not to swear.
That was great. Are you going to edit that out?
Probably. No, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I can. Shoot.
We'll just mark this one explicit. That's fine.
Yeah. The one episode. The Christmas episode, Stephanie swears. It's the rum.
It was bound to happen.
My Albertan comes out when I drink rum, apparently.
Look out. I love it. I'm really proud of us.
Me too. Man. What a great as I say it, we were just saying bad year. Like, what a great year.
But right? Like,
yeah.
if you look for it, there's so much good to find.
Yeah.
And I think what I'd love to hear from our listeners is, what are you most proud of from this year?
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool to hear from people in a time where it seems like a lot of people are sharing what they missed out on or upset about.
Yeah.
Let's flip the switch and let's talk about what we're proud of. What did you accomplish this year that you're just like, holy crap, look at me. This is awesome. Like, don't forget, you still get to celebrate your accomplishments, even though there's so much shit still happening in this world right now.
Exactly.
Nothing should be able to take that away from you.
Exactly. Yeah. Are we ending season 1 right now?
I don't know.
Is this what's happening?
Ready.
I was gonna say, I just kind of want to keep talking so we don't have to end it. I don't know if I'm ready.
Right? And that, like, that deep sigh, you can leave that one in. You don't have to take that heavy breathing out. You're welcome.
Oh, man. This one sigh.
Okay, I need to cheers you.
All right.
Okay, friend. This has been awesome.
Cheers, friend.
You're the best.
You're the best.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And
Cheers.
Cheers to you guys. Thank you so I can't even thank you enough for listening, supporting, sharing. If you haven't shared, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Do all the things.
Yeah.
It means so much to us. We do so many really bad happy dances when you do. So if you do, yeah.
Weren't you going to sing us a song today?
I don't know about that. You were gonna sing a song.
I feel like I'm deflecting now because I'm like getting emotional. This is sad that it's over.
I was gonna say it's not over though, but like
I know,
it's over.
Season one.
Season 1.
Yeah.
We will be back. Do we have a date when we're gonna be back? I don't think we did. We just like, I don't know. Well, we'll keep it posted, but
mid-January.
Yeah,
I
somewhere
can't remember
in the,
the
new year.
date.
It'll be New Year, New Us. Is
But
that
yeah,
the hashtag?
it won't be too long of a break. Just enough for us to decompress, hear from you guys what you want to see and hear more of as well.
Yes.
And then we'll be back and we'll get a good season 2 going. Lots of great stuff lined up.
I'm getting so sad. But yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Our last. Bye.
Happy holidays.
For the season. Happy holidays, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Thriving Tides. Hit the subscribe button to never miss an episode.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay connected. And remember, don't fight the rip currents.